What are you still doing there? You're not even fit to carry your brother's shoes.
Don't be upset, Uncle. Evan's useful for one thing at least, cleaning up Julian's mess.
You will apologize in his place, even on your knees if that's what it takes to save this engagement. Why is it always me? Because you were born a spare. Sir, you can't leave now.
So I'm not even allowed to run?
Julian is missing, and the scandal can't be contained anymore. The stock price, the engagement, the board. If any one of them collapses tonight, Vale will bleed.
So what now? You want me to die in his place again?
No, starting tonight, you are not Evan. You are Julian.
What if I fail?
Then you won't be the only one cast out tonight.
Julian Vale arrives.
Go in, Mr. Julian.
You finally showed up. But you don't look like the Julian I knew. So you finally decided to return.
It's our engagement gala. I couldn't stay away any longer.
Since when do you remember little things like that?
Julian, explain yourself to Clara.
I was wrong to put you in an awkward position. After tonight, no one will use this against you again. Looks like a few days missing taught our heir some humility.
Walk me to the terrace. We need to talk alone. Julian would never say make it right. He'd say the Hastings needed the Vales. Then let me ask a better one. What did you say to me the first time we met?
If I said I don't remember, what would you do?
At least I'd know the man standing here isn't the same bastard who only cared about winning and never about honesty.
And which one do you want more?
I want... Who knows what game he's playing now? Maybe he never wanted to marry Clara at all.
If anyone wants to discuss my behavior tonight, discuss me. Don't drag Clara into it.
I don't know who you are, but you are not the same man. So from now on, I'll be watching you myself. From now on, you look at me before you open your mouth.
Are you helping me or ordering me?
If you were really Julian, you'd hate me. Too bad you seem smarter than he ever was. The media, the shareholders, the lovers, you won't escape any of them tonight. Julian, darling, you finally decided to show your face. You've changed.
People can't stay the same forever.
No, you became him worth possessing.
Looks like Julian's charm is as lethal as ever.
Ignore him. He wants you to lose control. I'm about to announce a new partnership with Vale. But that partnership recognizes only one man, Julian.
Then tell me, do you want the Vale name or the man standing in front of you?
I want you more now. Not bad. You weren't arrogant like before and you didn't cower like a coward.
You seem to know the old Julian very well.
My job is to clean Vale's dirtiest blood off the floor. So I'm very good at telling when a man's just acting better and when he's become someone else entirely. Ladies and gentlemen, I've changed my mind. I don't just want a partnership with Vale. Julian Vale will belong to me sooner or later. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., my office. If you want to survive this performance, don't be late.
Since Julian is back, why not let him personally explain the South Harp project? 800 million total. Julian, what's the strongest reason to keep doubling down? What do you do? Before I answer, I'd like to know why South Harp's return cycle was artificially stretched by 9 months.
Just market volatility.
No. You overestimated occupancy and underestimated offshore withdrawal. You dressed up a failing investment as long-term strategy.
Who compiled these figures?
I did. So after vanishing for days, you came back an investment genius. Not suddenly. No one used to care enough to listen.
Go on.
Keep doubling down, and South Harbor drags down next quarter's cash flow. Split real estate from the art fund, unload the inflated side first, then pull back offshore's exposure. Because for 3 years, I kept notes on every public Vale project. You thought standing on the edge meant I saw nothing. It meant I saw everything.
Redo the assessment as he suggested. Since when did Julian learn all of this?
Maybe you never truly knew your son.
Who exactly are you?
Don't be nervous, I just want to see if you still remember which flower I hate most.
Lily of the Violet, you said it smelled like a funeral dressed up as romance.
Then do you remember why I lost control in front of you for the first time?
Because your mother's brooch was sold at a charity auction. It wasn't the price, it was that no one kept it for you.
Interesting. He used to be a bastard. Now he sounds like an impostor.
That still beats people who spend their entire lives looking like a joke.
Clara, I was only joking.
Then your joke is over. This is my luncheon. I don't allow anyone to entertain themselves by stepping on my guest. You are not the Julian I used to know. I gave you 7 chances to slip today. You dodged every one. But the way you look at me, the way you speak, even the way you preserve people's dignity, it's not him.
What if I told you I don't know how to explain it either?
I can choose not to expose you. But you have to tell me what happened. Who is threatening you? The old scandal is flaring up, and the board wants an heir who can stop the bleeding. Today, you either turn the narrative around or sink with Vale.
You're not here to help me, you're here to test me.
Congratulations. You're finally not as stupid as you used to be.
3,
2, 1, live.
Did Vale Group cover up environmental violations back then, yes or no? Vale made mistakes.
So you admit it?
I admit some people confused arrogance with management and silence with resolution. That wasn't responsibility, it was just delaying the bill.
So what makes the current you different from the Julian you used to be?
Now I know winning headlines isn't winning. Making the harm stay quiet isn't winning either.
The real Julian never made people want to believe him, but you do. You even make people want to defend you. So tell me who you really are.
If I told you, which side would you be on?
I've already chosen a side. Now I want to know whether you're worth the risk. Welcome to my hunting ground, Julian. Tonight everyone will decide whether you're the original or a forgery.
The old Julian bought reputation with money, and now you suddenly understand art?
Then tell us what this piece is worth.
What gives it value isn't perfection. It was cracked, discarded, nearly treated as trash, and still seen again. Capital loves things without scars, but the things that truly gain value are often the survivors.
You don't sound like you're talking about art.
Maybe great art has always been about people.
Touching speech. But when a man suddenly develops warmth, he sounds more like an impostor.
Then I'd say if a forgery can captivate this many people, maybe the original was simply boring. The Arbin Foundation will begin a partnership with the Vale family. But I only recognize Julian. Don't let me find out you're fake. Because then I'll want to own you even more.
You still dare show your face to me?
Yeah.
If one drink buys you the right to vent first, I'd say it's worth it.
Julian used my project to pad his number.
What you want isn't an apology. You want compensation, priority, and a guarantee you won't be treated like a disposable pawn again.
You never hated losing. You hated being made to lose like a tool.
You're terrifying. Because you understand better than Julian how to make people who hate you stand with you again.
And you? Which side are you on now?
The winning side.
There's something you should know. The night before Julian disappeared, I saw him meet Marcus in secret.
You're sure it was Marcus?
I'm sure. After that night, Julian vanished. Then the place I'm standing in may have been a trap all along. This file should have been destroyed years ago.
I never underwit any of these evaluations.
That's exactly why I said you should see it yourself.
Sorry, records like that can't be disclosed.
You can stay silent, but once this becomes news, I can't promise your institution survives the week.
This file was not entered through normal procedure.
What does that mean?
It was added retroactively under executive authorization, not a physician's login.
Which means it was fabricated. Now you finally understand.
It's not that I wasn't chosen.
Someone never intended to let me sit at the table.
Someone in the family can still use this authorization code.
Miss Clara, have you and Mr. Julian gotten back together?
Step back, please. You decide how much to say.
Clara, have you forgotten how he used to treat you?
I'm curious too. My brother's changed so much, it's almost like he's wearing another face. If anyone wants to question something, question me. Don't use her as a tool to test me.
Don't be afraid.
Why do you keep protecting me?
Because you shouldn't keep getting hurt for the Vale family's mess.
You're not him. But I'm already too late to stop.
Do it. I want him to lose even the face he's wearing now.
No matter who you are, I'm already too late to stop.
You negotiate alone today. No advisors, no rescue.
Their most valuable asset isn't the technology. It's the fact that they're running out of time.
You're the ones who need this deal more.
You're not selling growth, you're selling a time bomb.
Val is in no position to be picky.
Wrong. Especially now, I won't pay for a lie that's about to collapse. Cut the price by 30%, add regulatory dilated protection, or we're done here. And by 9 tomorrow, review will switch to your delayed trial data.
Are you threatening me?
No. I'm reminding you what can still be saved.
Julian used to make people fear Vale. Today, you made people fear you.
If it benefits the group, that should be enough.
Reinvestigate Julian's movements before and after his disappearance, and keep Evan under watch. Who are you to look more like my heir than the son I raised myself?
This isn't journalism. It's character assassination.
Seems my brother has been under too much stress.
He wants me to doubt you.
Marcus thinks women leave because of jealousy. How adorable. He's testing who will step away from you first.
You've become far too interesting lately, so now you're afraid. I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid that one day even Father will think you look more like Julian than Julian ever did. You have no idea what kind of game you stepped into.
Once you disappear, his place will stay empty forever.
I don't need the whole truth. I only need to know whether the man I'm standing beside is worth standing beside.
The man standing here now is not the Julian everyone used to know. Someone inside the family used the disappearance, fabricated records, and public pressure to shape everything the way they wanted.
So I really did fall for the wrong man.
Maybe.
Then I'll see this mistake through.
If you keep helping me, the price may be the entire board.
So you're finally letting me onto the real table.
Julian used heir and art projects as cover to move Vale's grey risk exposure. He wasn't partnering with you, he was using you.
Good. Because nothing offends me more than being used as a tool.
I have something. Enough financial dirt to burn the entire Vale board.
Looks like you all had fun while I was away.
Julian.
Who is the real Vale heir?
What happened during your disappearance? Cancel all public appearances immediately.
Why stop? After all, a stolen life should be reclaimed.
Where were you? Why come back now?
I just wanted to confirm one thing first.
What thing?
Whether this house has been sheltering a thief wearing my skin.
You've been performing well.
Too bad the show is over.
That depends on whether you can actually stop it.
Evan stole my life. And I'll take every bit of it back myself. During my disappearance, someone assumed my identity to control projects, manipulate relationships, and occupy the heir's position. I went through an extremely dangerous and complex period. But what shocked me most wasn't disappearing. It was returning home to find my own name used for profit.
Did you impersonate Julian?
Has Val been covering this up all along?
This is not your moment to speak.
I didn't want to make this public, but if someone with a long history of mental take over Vale, I have a takeover Vale, I have a duty to stop it.
So that's what this is. No wonder he seemed like a different person.
You came prepared. I'm only reclaiming what was always mine. This is enough to prove Evan is mentally unstable and unfit to inherit Vale. You should thank me. Not everyone gets the privilege of being elegantly disemboweled on national television. You sound very certain.
Are you really going down with an impostor?
At least the man I stand with knows how to protect people.
You can still pull out now.
I hate being told to stop when I'm about to win.
You may want to reconsider your partnership with Vale.
Oh, I will. I'm just deciding who should go on the auction block first.
This was left by the old chairman. He said it should only be opened when everyone had pushed you to the edge.
30 seconds.
On Vale's centennial, I am here to announce a family decision. Due to identity concerns and long-term stability issues, Evan will be suspended from all core authority.
He is not me. He took my identity, my position, my relationships, even my life. If tonight is about truth, then play another piece of evidence.
Over the past year, someone inside Val moved high-risk assets through shell projects and overseas art channels. And the chain doesn't stop with Marcus. The Arden Foundation has completed its internal review. Certain art collaborations were used as a laundering screen. As of now, I am terminating all previous agreements and submitting all records to regulators. I used to know Julian better than anyone, which is exactly why I know whether the man standing here is the same one I once knew. He isn't. But he is the only one who protected me as a person when everyone else treated me like leverage. If I have to choose a side tonight, I choose him.
Get your hands free!
You always believed grandfather bet the future on Julia. Now let's see who he really chose.
The Vale's succession shall not be determined solely by blood order. The one fit to lead is not the person who looks most worthy of the crown, but the one who understands loss, and therefore the weight of power. If severe internal misconduct, asset diversion, or malicious disqualification of an heir occurs, transitional control shall pass to the one capable of restoring the group and supported by multiple independent witnesses.
This is absurd! He's nothing but a pathetic thief who stole my identity! You think you won?
No. It's that you finally lost.
I was wrong.
Will the market accept a transition like this?
The market never accepts fairy tales. It accepts results.
You finally got what you wanted.
Not finally got. It's that you finally chose to see.
Now you have all of Vale. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not standing by you. I just hate losing.
Now that you're truly the center of Vale, I'm even less inclined to let go.
I did not become Julian. You finally saw who I really am.
There's a gentleman insisting on seeing you.
If you really want to know how Vale first began to rot, then we should talk about the murder your grandfather failed to bury.
You sitting in that chair?
Then you need to know what it's standing on. A woman died on your family's port job.
People don't storm my office for history. Did you know about Port Harbor?
Who brought this to you?
Lock archive access. All of it.
That fast?
Some graves stay shut.
You owe me a real answer.
Not yet.
That's what men say before they choose silence.
You know that number.
I hoped I never would again.
You want the beginning? Start with who was there after she died.
My father and Sebastian. Welcome to the part your family buried.
Made it.
You crack this open, the market bleeds.
It was already bleeding.
Don't touch me.
She's Lena Voss.
I know that name. Vale men bury people, then buy new suits.
Your family didn't lose a stranger. She was auditing your port books.
She was supposed to hand this in the next morning. She was dead that night. I don't care how you got the chair anymore. I care what you do once it asks for blood.
You think I'd bury it?
I think men with power always think they're the exception. You want to know why I never trusted your family?
The twins. The one who sees too much can't be allowed near this.
Careful who you hand that to. Step away from her. Still cleaning up after me? I have something on father.
And you want what?
A softer fall. You trim my charges. I give you the old dirt. You sold this family once already. And you still need what I know.
Don't cut a deal with a man who lies for oxygen. Sometimes the snake is the fastest way into the crypt. And sometimes it bites the hand holding it.
You still think father hated you because he loved me more?
He kept you small because he knew. One day you'd tear every coffin in this family open.
We stop this now.
You are not here to exhume ghosts. You're here to stabilize Vol.
If you want this alive, don't yell. File.
And if they block it?
Then make them do it in writing.
Val will open an independent review. Miss Hastings, are you backing this?
I'm standing exactly where I intend to. This wasn't buried with the first file.
There was another one.
He left one more thing. Bear it. Arthur mistakes control for strength. Julian mistakes admiration for legitimacy. The overlooked child sees what the favored one ignores. If vile is to be corrected, it will not be by a prince.
No more riddles. That night, at the gala, who stood in front of me?
Me. From that night on, it was always me.
Move!
You think your grandfather saved this family? He saved a monster.
You said monster, so talk.
You still come in like a prosecutor.
You never left me another role.
I didn't order the death. I buried what followed.
And me?
You looked too long, too hard, even as a child. I thought if I kept you small, you'd stay safe. And Vale would too.
Don't do that. Don't mistake confession for love. He can smell the walls closing in. This isn't remorse, it's timing.
Name him.
Not a name, a handle. Blackbriar.
You know it.
I thought he died with the old man.
He wasn't family. That's why he was useful. When something couldn't be signed, it went through him.
I got close once. Then my source vanished, my tires got slashed, my apartment got turned over.
So he's still active. Men like that don't retire. They get quieter.
Get in. I already leaked enough to make them nervous.
And I locked the overseas accounts.
You're chasing the wrong body. Want the first one? Come alone.
You came alone.
Good. Means you're finally asking the right question. Port Harbor wasn't first. Just the one that almost got loud. You crush a project. Smother the noise. Buy a gala. That's how old money learns to smell clean.
My family's counsel is ready. If you go public, they can't box you in alone.
Your hit piece drops in 10, because if you fall now, it won't be me getting my seat back. It'll be the dirtier version of all of us.
Board authority transfers effective immediately. Your succession standing is revoked.
So this is your kingdom? No. This is where yours ends. No bloodline priority, no sealed inheritance.
And you?
I'm done pretending.
Markets are holding. Don't get boring now.
Vale is cleaner inside. Outside is another story.